All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. How's it going? Happy Friday, everybody. So excited. So, we want to take some time to kind of welcome all of our visitors on YouTube, all of our visitors on Facebook. Happy Friday. Hope you guys have an amazing week or had an amazing week since it's the end of the work week for many people. So, we want to take some time to just come on live and kind of just talk to published author Vincent Kelly. My goodness, we've had an amazing time in the writer's studio. God has been moving powerfully. So we want to take some time to just greet you guys. Hey, Vincent, how's it going? Happy
I'm good,
Friday,
man. How you
sir.
doing?
I am doing amazing. I am doing amazing. Good to see you. Good to hear you.
You too,
So,
bro.
guys, thanks for joining us tonight. I do have a special guest with me by the name of Vincent Kelly. He's a published author. He's a phenomenal man of God. So come on in and share this video, or
Come
excuse
on
me,
in.
share
Come
this
talk with
live.
us tonight.
Share this live with us as we just have and I talk and Q&A. We'll just kind of just talk and see what's on the heart of the Spirit of the Lord. And so also too want to tell you guys about his course, phenomenal course. Those of you that are already part of his course, it's the Writer Studio, bringing your book to life. God has been moving powerfully.
Amen.
And so this
Amen.
man of God is a blessing to the kingdom. So Vincent, let's kind of just jump in just a little bit as people are kind of coming in a little bit and kind of tell us a little bit about what God is doing, what he's been doing in the course. So kind of just talk to us as people kind of come in.
Yeah. So man. So again, thank you for the opportunity just to kind of join the course and really facilitate. We've been having a phenomenal time. We have had people at different journeys, different stages in their writer's journey. Right. They've
Right.
all joined the course. We've got some people that have already published books, right? And so they came to the class needing different things. We have people that came to the course that have not written their first book.
Right.
Then we have also had people that are in the process of writing their manuscript, right? They have a deadline, and so they want to know how do we really make this process a lot easier, right? How can we take some of the heavy lifting or some of the pressure away? And so
Right.
typically we've been able to do that by replacing the pressure with this information.
Come on.
And people, you'd be surprised just how much people don't know. But people don't know what they don't know.
So
And so I
true.
sat in the seat at one point, but someone was able to give me information. I found information out for myself, and it's blessed my life, right? And so now I'm on the other side, and I'm helping people do that. So, like you said, man, we're in the midst of the course. We're actually going into our third week, and so the first week we kind of got into just the concept and writing it out. How do I establish my writing space? What are my writing tools? What resources do I need to kind of tap into? How do I not be so critical of myself when I'm trying to write just that first draft, right? So what things to kind of be aware of, and then kind of what things I need to stay away from. Last week we got into the road to publishing, and that was a jam-packed session. We had so much
My
content.
gosh.
And we really talked about, what happens. So now that I've got my manuscript done, how do I actually publish? Like, what are those different stages? We talked about the editing process. We talked about illustrations. We talked about, getting your ISBN numbers and barcodes. And we kind of got into all of that. So jam-packed course. I think I had one more slide that I did not get to cover last week because there was just so much content. There was people came with amazing questions, and so we stopped and took the time to make sure that we answered every last question. And on top of that, yes, we prepared content for the class, but we also provided resources, right? So after you leave the class, what websites, right? What things can I tap into so that you don't necessarily have to retain everything in your brain? We're going to give you something tangible to kind of take with you. One of the big things for us was that a lot of people, because they thought it was just a lot of rich content, Vince, can I get a copy of the course? And so we're making that available to attendees. And I think it's a great resource, right? So that after you leave the course, you don't have to remember everything. You can go back and reference the video, or you can go back and reference the PowerPoint, or even the notes, right? And just get what you may have missed, because again, it's so much information, but we want to put it at your fingertips so that it's easy to get to. And then this week, week 3. We're trying to bring it home, trying to bring it home. And so
Yeah.
this, we're going to get into what I like to call spreading the word, selling, and more. So we're gonna talk about the stage from the point. So my book is published; it's ready to hit the bookshelf. How do I begin to create buzz around what I'm doing? Right? How do
That's
I let
good.
people know that my book is coming? Right? How do I want to do a video? Do I want to tap into social media? What platforms do I need to make sure that I'm actually on? Do I want to get a website? So we want to get into all of that and how you actually do it. You would be surprised how easy all of these things are to set up. A lot of them are actually free, or you can do them for minimal cost. Right? If
Yeah.
you have a certain budget and you want to be budget friendly, you can do this and you can do it in a budget, and it can still be quality. And so we want to get into doing that.
That's
We're going
good.
to get into really building your system, right? So this is a concept that I learned after my book was out. I had an opportunity to sit down with this guy that calls himself the best-selling guru, right?
Mm.
So this guy has made tons of people bestsellers, right? He has given them tips and strategies, and I sat down with him for about an hour, and I took all that in, and so I'm also
Wow.
going to share that knowledge with them on tomorrow. So I'm so excited. I'm
Man.
excited, too excited.
Woo, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm super excited about tomorrow, guys. So you know what? Guess what? It's not too late for those of you like, oh my gosh, like I've been missing like the first 2 sessions. Like Vincent said, we share, excuse me, we share the PowerPoint presentation with you after every class. Then also it's a Zoom style type of meeting, type of classroom, so you can always kind of go back and rehearse the Zoom material. So awesome, awesome. So every class is recorded for those of you that are like, man, I wish I could get a part of it. You still can. You still can. Phenomenal information. So Vincent, let me ask you something, man, because you talked about something phenomenal about tomorrow's class. So I know I've seen it. I think we might have talked about this last time, but it's still hitting home with me how important marketing is and creating the effective buzz and the
Yeah,
proper marketing. Can you
yeah.
speak to those authors that say, well, I'm not a first time author, so is this class even for me? Can you speak to those that might have already published something, but they're stuck because their book is not selling? What advice
Yeah.
would you kind of give them a little bit?
Man, so I think you have to ask yourself, so I published the book, but does my book actually have presence? So you think about the marketplace. You think about the marketplace, and so I'll use Amazon for example. So Amazon has over 8 million books on the Amazon site, right? And so just think about your book and its placement. One of the things that Amazon does a really good job of, and even Barnes and Noble, is they rank books. They rank books based upon their selling frequency, right? And so you can see the number. Out of 8 million books, your number is what, right? And so that lets you know whether you're having good traction or you're having good traffic, that people are actually buying your book. And so if you don't have a good presence for your book, then this course is for you, right? Because we want to help you be able to do that. There are some very, very small but effective things that you can do to really help drive traffic to your book. Right? If you put blood, sweat, and tears in this book, it's something that is impactful, it's effective, it can change lives. We want to get it into the hands of people, and in order to do that, we got to do some fundamental steps, right? How do I create a video, right? How do I create a script for my video? So yes, you can get on there and you can kind of talk through content, but it's good for you to actually write out your script and memorize it. It doesn't have to be a long video, but it has to be something that's impactful. It's got to be something that resonates with your target audience. That's the other thing. You got to figure out who is your target audience. Like, who do I want to buy my book, right? Because
That's
those are the people
good.
that you want to market to, right? Because there
Right.
are certain niches, that there are certain demographics. We want to talk about how do you figure out who is my target audience? What strategies do I need to put in place? Right? Is there a certain frequency that I need to connect with these people? So as I get on Facebook, when I think about my video, do I need to do a video a week? Do I need to do a video once a month? whatever your frequency, you want to establish a consistent frequency so people know to expect things from you. And that's how you create
Man,
you
that's
create a
good.
following, and people want to know, okay, what's Russell got next? What's he got next? What's he got coming? I'm waiting on it.
Mhm.
He always has good content that resonates with me. So yeah, man, there's so
Yeah.
much. It's a big conversation, but we want to help you figure out what that is. We really do.
Yeah. Wow. Man, that's some good tips. So you guys definitely want to get a part of his course. To register for his course, you can go to www.kingdominvestorsacademy.com. Go to register for a course. His course is called The Writing Studio, Bringing Your Book to Life. Amazing stuff. Vincent, so let's talk a little bit more, man. Give us an update about your book. How is your book doing, and what is God doing at the moment?
So, man, I'm so excited. So again, the book is still doing amazing, just by the grace of God, and we're just so thankful that again, the message that we wanted to display to the world. It's resonating, right? It's resonating. People are still buying the book. Here, Canada, the UK, we've got some works, and we got some things in the work, but we want to also target and market to some different countries, right? So those other English speaking countries. And so the book is still ranking extremely well. I'm getting some book reviews. We're doing some authors, web shows. I think right now, out of over 8 million books, the last time I checked, my book is number 72,000 and some change, right? And so when you think about and that's overall books on Amazon, out of 8 million, it's number 72,000. And then when you think about children's books, Amazon ranks certain categories. And so my book falls into a certain category. So I think it's like number 542
Wow.
in stories in verse for children's book, which is
Hmm.
phenomenal when you think about just the
Yeah,
sheer
that's amazing.
amount of books that are actually on the Amazon platform. But
Right.
and the crazy thing, man, is just in order to maintain your presence, you've always got to be thinking about, what's a different way that I can create some type of traffic to my book,
Hmm.
right? And so we're thinking through all those things. But man, we're just sitting back and really enjoying the ride, and watching God just kind of open doors, open opportunities, and really just set them in our lap because we sought our best to obey Him. And that's all I wanted to do. And God has just breathed on it and blessed it. So, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Man, that
Yeah.
is I'm pumped by that. So one of the unique things about Kingdom Investors Academy is obviously, we are believers and we follow the Holy Spirit and the moving of the Holy Spirit. So Vincent, you yourself being a minister, and this is the part that I love that makes us different from everybody else that's kind of doing what we do. Tell us, what is God saying to you right now concerning what's going on in the pandemic, the season that we're in? What word can you give those people that might be watching this replay?
Oh
Watching the
man.
replay,
So
we'll watch it right now.
oh man. So I mean, amazing. So even today, I was leaving work, and then the Holy Spirit just began to drop something in my spirit. And that thing is that schools are closed. Some schools are closed. You have some companies that have closed down. You have even some churches that have actually closed. And so, but what God reminded me is that what's not closed, God's hand is not closed, right? God, the windows of heaven are still open. God is still providing. God is still dropping instruction. God is still inspiring His people in the
Yes.
midst of a pandemic. And so the great thing about God is God can use whatever to bless your life, right? So God can use a pandemic. The word says that, all things work together for our good. God never promised that, everything that we experience would be good. He said that all things will work for our good. So whether it's
Come
good or
on.
whether it's bad, God says, I can turn anything around and
My
use it
God.
for your benefit.
Yes,
Right.
Lord.
And so God in this season, I feel like God is saying, whatever God has placed into your hand, the thing that God has told you to do. I'm asking people, no, what has God told you to do? What has He instructed for you to do? There is success that is attached to what He's called you to do, right? There's a blessing that's always attached to obedience. There's always a blessing attached to it. And
Come
so, man,
on.
I feel like that. And so for anybody that, you're in the midst of this pandemic and you're not sure where to go. You feel like you've come to this place that looks like a Red Sea, and you're figuring out, you're trying to figure out, God, what is it that you want me to do? This that I'm facing seems way bigger than me. And God is saying simply, like he told Moses, lift up what's in your hand. Lift up what's in your hand and allow me to give you an experience that you've never had before. In the midst of your difficulty, God can show you the wonders. He can show you his wonders. He can show you, open his hand, and you experience the treasure, right? And I believe that's God's will for us. And that's what God is saying to me, man. That's what he's saying to me. And he's saying that to me, but it's not just for me. That is for the people of God. That is for the body of Christ right now in this season. We got to figure out what is God saying to you and do just that.
Right.
Do
Come on.
just that.
My God.
Yeah, man.
My God. You got me stirred up.
Man, it blessed me. It
Jesus.
blessed me. Creflo Dollar said this some years ago. He said, many times, I'm trying my best to paraphrase it. He said, many times we are trying our best to accomplish our own agenda, right? Typically, we can find success if we figure out what God is doing in the earth and we seek to be a part of what God is doing, right? But we've got to be at a place where we can hear God and we can know what he's saying, and we can act on what he is saying. We got to know, especially in a season like this, what is God saying? Is God saying to mobilize? Is he saying that you're supposed to be doing some type of action? Is he saying that you're supposed to be strategizing where he's dropping knowledge and instruction, right? Is God saying to consecrate yourselves today for tomorrow? I'm going to do wonders among you. So it's trying to figure out what is God saying and doing just that. And God says, I'm going to bless that every single time, no question. Because I'm God.
My gosh. Come on. Somebody needs to hear that right now.
Man.
So you guys share this, man. That's a word right there, Vincent, because so many people right now are so confused.
Yeah.
But literally, what is in your hand that the Spirit of the Lord is calling you to do? My God. My God. What is in your hand? What is in your belly? What is in your spirit? And so what we want to do is we want to help pull those things out of you. Because a lot of times you need a catalyst that can just come and just say, hey, come on, let's do it. Let's go. Man.
Yeah.
My God, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Ooh.
Jesus. Woo, I had to take a break for a minute because, my God. And so that's amazing. So for so many of you, and I can even just begin to hear God say this, for such a time as this, that God is raising many of us up in the middle of confusion, in the middle of uncertainty. It's our time to arise. So for those of you that have books on the inside of you, you have things that the Spirit of the Lord is leading you to do, but you don't know how to do it. Something like this is great for you because it'll put you in that environment of people that are just like you that can help push you to the next level. My God.
Yeah. And you know what, Russell, I was thinking just, it may not be that God is leading you to write a book. He might be leading you to do something else. To your point, it's figuring out what God is saying. And for this season, how do we silence the noise of the season so we can figure out what is God saying, right? What is he saying? Getting in that place where we can say, you know what, God, I'm here. All I have, I'm putting it into your hand. What do you want me to do with what you've placed into my hand? And God says, you know what? I will give you the desires of your heart. The thing that we miss many times is delighting ourselves in him first. The scripture in Psalm 37:4 says, delight yourself also in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Right? The steps of the righteous, they're ordered of God, right? And so God says, I want to order your steps. Let me do it. Let me open to you, right, the heavens. Let me open to you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that there is not room enough to receive in the midst of this season. Right? Let me drop some inspiration that's going to change your life and change generations after you. Right? God says, I want to bless you like that right now.
Like that. Wow.
No way. I want to bless you like that.
Come on. Come on. The awesome thing is, Vincent, what you're saying about this is God knew all of these things were going to happen. You know what I mean? He's not surprised by anything. And it's
Yeah,
amazing how the Spirit of the Lord is getting all of the world's attention at one time.
yeah,
At
yeah,
one time.
yeah,
He is amazing. He,
yeah.
my goodness, he's phenomenal. So come on, Vincent, let's talk to those people, say, man, I have a idea that I think it might be a book. Like how talk to somebody that might be that beginner that needs like maybe that jump start that we're talking about tonight. What would you encourage them with?
Yeah, and we shared this during the first week. It's looking at, what God has given you, and thinking about the big idea, right? And so we think about the marketplace right now. There's no room in the marketplace for small ideas, right? For small ideas, you might want to think it might be better as an article, right, or some type of journal. But if what God has given you has a big idea, and every time you share it with somebody, you feel like it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it begins to expand. There's always some type of idea that is flourishing and flowing out of it. That's probably a book, right? It's probably a book. What you then want to figure out is it a chapter book? How long is it, right? And sometimes when we think about books, we think that books have to be hundreds of pages. They don't, right? It might be a series, so God might be leading you to write a series, and so it might be a series of smaller books that culminate into this larger work that the Lord is trying to get you to do. What you want to do is get in there and figure out, okay, God, what is the big idea? And then based upon the big idea, how do I begin to break that down into smaller pieces? And they then begin to form short projects, right? And it's more manageable, and then you're able to kind of pace yourself, and you're able to even line out what the process should look like, because you've kind of figured out, okay, so I need to go in this direction. I feel like I'm being led in this direction. Let me explore it. Let me explore it. Another great way is to figure out what's out there in the marketplace, right? What other books, based upon the genre that you're writing, what's out there? What does the marketplace look like? Um, and then what is God leading you to do? And how do I actually balance? How do I balance all of that? So yeah, man, that's what I would say. But again, we talked about it during the first class, and again, I think it really inspired people. Um, you know, yeah,
Yeah, so true, man. So we've heard some great testimonials and feedback from some of our students. I know, Vincent, since you're the instructor, what are some things that you've kind of heard from our students right now? Like, what are they saying to you?
yeah. So just last week, man, one of the comments that stuck out to me is that the content was just so rich. And so I did my best because we only have 3 weeks, and there's so much that we can talk about because there's so much that people just need to know. I tried to pack in every single week, jam packed with just information that you just know can need to know. And so somebody, one of the attendees said, Vincent, the content was so rich, I wasn't able to absorb everything. Everything was so good, but I feel like I need to go back and listen to it again. And so, to that point, we provided like the audio replay, right? So they can go back and listen to it, which is one of the great things about Kingdom Investors is that we make the resources in the class available to people even after the class, right? So we'll send that to you, so that you have it at your disposal. So even after the class is long and gone, you still have something to reference back to and refer back to, just in your own time. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So I'm gonna ask you this, right? So tell us, I know you've talked a little bit about the journey and what God is doing with the book and how it's going literally around the world. What is next for you? What is God leading you to? Are there like book tours, or what's on the heart of God concerning you? Can you share some
Yeah.
things with us?
Yeah, man.
Maybe encourage those people.
There's a lot, right? So I think, as you kind of learn the process, you learn, really what your role is in the process, as an author. You learn what the publishing company, if you do have a publisher, really what their role is. You kind of learn if you're self-publishing, typically all the heavy lifting is on you. I was fortunate that I actually have a publisher, and so they did a lot of the heavy lifting work for me. Now, that said, there is still a lot on me, right? So a lot of the marketing that still falls to me, right? I've still got to create a consistent presence and a place for myself after the book comes out. So it is the book tours, and because of with COVID being what it is right now, how do we explore potentially doing some virtual book tours, right? How do we potentially explore doing some storytelling, right? Reading some book with some kids, right? And just to get their good feedback. We're talking about doing some book reviews. So I'm submitted for some book reviews. I've submitted for some book awards. I've actually joined a book review just this past Wednesday. I was a guest on a book review in the UK, so we did that virtually. So
What?
so
Come
many
on.
things, man, that you can do. We're working on just doing some more e-releases, some more press releases about the book. We're talking about partnering with some organizations. So how do we get the book into schools? Because again, it creates a different place. How do I market to educators? And so all those things are kind of turning in my head, and that's what I kind of want to help just the students that join the course kind of think through, right? How do I get your book placed, not just on Amazon, not just on Barnes and Nobles, but really think about building your system. Because I'm a consultant now, right? I'm a speaker. So how do I build this system so it becomes more than just about selling books? How do I speak? How do I consult? How do I show other people how to do this thing? And so it really is able to, one, help me help other people, but then also give me a little increase, in the process. I prayed a long time ago and I said, God, and it's still one of my prayers, God, I want to obey you, and then I want to be able to live off that obedience. And so, it's so,
Come on. That was powerful right
yeah,
there.
like
That was
it
powerful.
is, it's amazing how you can obey God, and God said, you know what, because you obeyed me, here's the provision, right? It's something, God says, okay, do this, and then God hands us provision, right?
Wait a
And
minute. Wait a minute, Vincent. Wait a minute.
it,
You wrecked me right there.
man, it's amazing, and it's not just with this book thing. It is every area of our lives. How do we obey God?
Oh
How do we obey
my
God
God.
in the simple things, right? How do I obey God, in the hard things? So I need faith. When I have everything, I need faith when I have nothing, right? And so at all
Right.
places in life, I need faith. I need faith, and I need God, right? I need His
Mm,
direction. Even if I'm on the mountaintop, I still need His direction. I need His direction if I'm in the valley, right? So when I'm experiencing
come on.
trouble, how do I tap into God so I don't see my
Jesus.
trouble as trouble, but I see my trouble as transition and a vehicle that God is trying to use to get me from here to there.
Wow.
And sometimes the ideas that He gives us helps us, and is that vehicle of transition. So yeah, man, it's so much. It's so much. And you see, I keep on waving this black book. I stay
Come
I
on.
stay with the
Tell us
black
about the
book.
book.
Yeah, I stay with this black book because the black book is just, it's where I write all my ideas. So at any point, because I'm a creative, God can use anything to inspire us. He can use a billboard. He can use just something I hear on the radio, something I watch on TV, or a conversation
Yeah.
with you. He can use my conversations with my wife or with my children. Um, and God says, I want to drop an idea on you, right? Take
Come
this and
on.
run with it, right?
Come
Or just
on.
write it down, and in your prayer time, pray about it. And let
Yeah.
me just drop some instruction. Let me breathe upon it, um, and let me bless it. Yeah,
Man, that's phenomenal. So, excuse me. I want you to say what you said one more time. Your prayer was what? Because I think some of us might have missed that, and that thing hit my belly. What
yeah.
was your prayer?
My prayer has been, and I mean for years now, it's that God help me to obey you, right? And then God, because I obey you, I want to be able to live off of that obedience,
Yes, come on.
right?
That's for
And
somebody. That's
and,
for
it, and
somebody.
it's not just spiritual. No, it's tangible too, right? It is tangible. God has given us all things that pertain to life and godliness, right? And so it's life, it's the natural things, but it's also godliness. It is the spiritual things
Yeah.
that God has already given us. Tap into those things, right?
Yes, come on. It's
So yeah,
available.
man,
Oh man, it's
yeah, it's
available.
available. Yeah,
Woo!
and
Jesus,
it's
my
God's
God.
will.
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah,
God's will. Man, well, What else can we say? Man, God is moving, guys. He's doing some phenomenal things. If you have an interest to be a part of Vince's course, it's definitely now is a great time for that. So you'll probably see it scrolling on the screen, like how you can register. All of that information is
Yeah.
available for you guys. All right, Vincent. So tomorrow is your third session. Is there another session? Kind of talk to us a little bit. Like what's happening? Because we talk to us. I
So
don't
man,
want it to be over,
I've been
but
really I've
tell
been
us.
really thinking about it, right? And so we're gonna offer it tomorrow because I feel like there's just so much, and we're asking questions and we're answering the questions. But what I've been thinking about it, and I just want your go ahead because you're the CEO, right? You're the founder, so I want to extend it another week, right? Just to give those attendees an opportunity if they after they've attended all three classes,
Yeah.
and use it kind of like a working session. A working session. If
Yeah.
you have specific questions, now that you've kind of gotten all the content, you know the process. Bring your questions and let's kind of talk through. Let's kind of dig in and figure out how we can actually help you, depending
Yes,
upon where
let's
you
do
are in
that.
the journey. So it doesn't matter where you are in the journey. You could just have the thoughts in your head. So Vince, okay, let's start formulating this, right? And then we can help you do that. So we're gonna
Yeah.
make ourselves available.
Yeah,
Um,
let's do that, man. I mean, I'm game. And I'm sure Diana is game as well. Yeah, man, let's do
we
that.
miss you,
Because
Diana. We're so sorry you're
yeah,
not here tonight, but
shout
we're
out
taking
to our
care of business.
COO
So
Diana
yeah,
for not being
yeah,
here, but I mean, she's with us in spirit. Amen. She had some other stuff to do. So
yeah,
praise God. Yeah, man, let's do that. I think that's a phenomenal, opportunity for those of you that have some content and you might need some direction and you want that one-on-one coaching in the classroom style. I think that would be perfect. Bring
yeah,
your questions, all of those amazing things, man. Thank you so much for that because that's a great opportunity. I mean, definitely, let's do that for sure.
yeah, man. Anything I can do to help, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Woo! My goodness. Well, y'all, man, thank you so much, Vincent. I mean, is there anything else you want to say? I think, man, we covered some amazing stuff tonight. Um, oh no, tell them how can they get in contact with you? How can we follow you? What's your social media outlets and all that?
Yeah.
Talk to the people.
Yep. So I'm on just about every single social media platform. Probably the easiest way is just to kind of figure out where I am. If you go to my website, so I have a website. It's www.vincentmkelly.com. If you go there, you can read information about me, about my book, about things that I have going on, whether it's events or other things. Right? You can subscribe and stay updated on all the things I have going on. But it's also just an opportunity for you to connect with me on all the other platforms. So if you go there, you'll have access to everything that I'm on, right? And so I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to partner with you, right? If you're an organization, yeah, reach out. I'd love to have a conversation. If you're on this journey, I'd love to help you kind of navigate the journey. So definitely reach out. And yeah, vincentmkelly.com.
Awesome. Amazing, man. Thank you so much. And then for those, I kind of feel like to say this, for those educators out there that might be looking for some other curriculum or something like that, consider Vincent's book. Vincent, what's the title of your book?
Oh,
Tell us a little bit more about the
it's
book
so
itself.
interesting. We've been talking about the course. So my book is called The Awesome Things I Love, and it's a children's book that really talks about all the fun, exciting, rhyming things that kids enjoy about life, like animals and pizza and ice cream and playing outdoors. And while all those things are great, the focus of the book is really on the things that matter. So I love my dad, I love my mom, I love my family, I love my friends. Um, and at the end of the book, the reader can actually insert pictures of not only their family, but also themselves. And so it really becomes a personal keepsake. Um, the one
Awesome.
thing that I've the one thing that I've learned in talking to educators over the past couple months is that there is a serious gap when we think about social emotional learning,
Yeah.
and so the book seeks to address some of those issues with social emotional learning. So again, if you're an educator, we'd love for you to pick up the book. There's a hard copy. You can get it in ebook format on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and then now on Apple iTunes. And in addition to that, the book is also available on YouTube. So there's an animated version. And so, man, so much going on. We're excited. But again, we'd love for you to check it out. If you don't have the book, you need it in your life. If you don't
Yes.
have any small kids, get it for as a gift for someone. And we love for it to be a blessing to you.
Whew, awesome, man. I can see God doing some phenomenal things, even as we were kind of talking, even some more
Amen.
nonprofit stuff, you know.
Amen.
So I know that you're working on those ventures. So
Amen.
praying that God, man, is glorified in all of your efforts and everything that you're doing. You know, even man, be prayerful about even like, you know, suicide prevention, things like that, to helping kids with identity. That's so needed,
Yeah.
you know, especially
Yeah.
now what's going on with, you know, issues in the home and dysfunction, all of those things. So man, you are a blessing to the kingdom. And so we, you know, celebrate the gift of God on the inside of you. So those of you that want to be a part of his course, you know, the website is scrolling here. So join the course, man. It will change your life. You know, it's so amazing, you know, even, you know, me being the CEO of this particular company and sitting listening to the information, I'm just taking notes. I'm like, man, this is so rich. So because I know I have some books on the inside of me too. So you guys definitely join this course. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Share this with some other people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it for the kingdom.
Let's do it.
Let's do it for
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
It's anything else, man? Any last words? Man, this has been
No, man.
phenomenal.
I'll just say thank you for just having me on tonight, man. Again, it's always a pleasure just to join you, and my sister Diana. Again, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's session. I'm looking forward to really what's to come. Not only for the attendees, but just what God is doing in this season, in our lives and in the lives of the people that are part of the body of Christ. Like, again, I think that God is propelling us to a different place. He's trying to change our mindset,
Yes, sir.
even in the midst of the pandemic. And so let's allow him to do that, right? Let's
Yep.
put on the mind of Christ, and let's be everything that God intends for us to be in the earth in this season,
Yes, Lord.
and
Hallelujah.
watch God be glorified.
Amen. That is it, man. That is it. Well, you guys have a phenomenal night. Thanks for joining us. Share this video. Love you guys. And for those of you that are part of the course, we will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a good one. Thanks so much, Vincent.
See you later. Be great.
All right. Bye bye.